The alien city of Thalara was shining under the twin suns. Tall crystal towers rose high above the ground, and glowing bridges connected the skies like veins of light. Life here had always been calm, but now fear was crawling through every street. It began slowly. One alien fell sick in the marketplace. His skin turned pale blue, his breath short, and his eyes clouded like mist. The healers rushed, but their medicines failed. The sickness spread to his family, then to his neighbors within. Dozens were collapsing. The alien doctors, with their advanced tools and glowing machines, searched for answers. They scanned the bodies. They studied the organs. They injected powerful drugs, yet nothing worked. The sick only grew weaker, their bodies wasting away as if something unseen was eating them from inside. Whispers spread like fire. Some said it was a curse from the ancient gods. Others believed it was punishment for building towers too close to the sky. The Alien Council tried to hide the truth, but panic was louder. Markets closed, schools locked, and the air was heavy with dread. At the edge of the city, in a small research hall, a quiet figure walked among the frightened aliens. His name was Dr. Samuel Hayes, a human doctor from Earth. He had been invited in secret because the Alien Council had lost hope, but they could not admit it. Dr. Hayes looked different from them. He had no glowing skin, no silver eyes, no long necks like the Thalarians. He was plain, small compared to their tall bodies, yet there was something sharp in his gaze, something calm in his hands, as if he had faced death many times before. The aliens watched him with suspicion. They whispered, "Why call a human? Their medicine is old. Their science is primitive. He cannot solve what we cannot." But desperation made them stay silent. For every hour more of their people were falling into endless sleep. Dr. Hayes entered the room of the first patient. The alien lay weak on a crystal bed, his breathing shallow, his skin cracked with strange blue lines. Alien doctors stood by, their instruments glowing, showing numbers that meant nothing to Hayes. He ignored them. Instead, he pulled out a small human microscope from his bag. The aliens laughed quietly. "This is a toy. This is useless." But Hayes did not answer. He took a drop of the alien's blood, placed it under the glass, and bent forward. His eyes narrowed. For long minutes he stared, his breath steady, his mind focused. Then slowly he straightened, his face serious. "This is not a curse," he said in a low voice. "This is alive. Something is moving inside their blood." The aliens looked at one another in shock. Alive? Could it be an infection? A parasite? None of their scans had shown it, yet Hayes's simple tool had revealed what their machines could not. He leaned closer to the council leader, a tall alien with glowing silver eyes. "Your people are not dying from weakness. They are being attacked. This sickness is a living invader." The leader's eyes widened. His voice trembled. "An invader, then it spreads through the air, through water, through touch." Hayes did not answer. His thoughts were racing. He remembered Earth's history, the old battles against plagues, diseases that once destroyed cities, the same fear, the same helplessness. Humanity had faced such nightmares before and survived. He looked again at the alien patient, the chest rising and falling like a fading flame. Hayes whispered to himself, "It's not just sickness. It's war at the smallest level, outside." The hall, the city grew darker even under the suns. Shops were empty, streets silent, and in every home, families prayed to gods that had never answered. Yet deep inside the research hall, one human doctor had already taken the first step. He had seen the hidden enemy that no alien could find. The alien doctors argued. Some shouted, "He is wrong. Our machines would have seen it." Others grew pale, afraid that he might be right. The council leaders silenced them. "Let him continue. He sees what we do not." Dr. Hayes worked through the night, examining more patients, collecting samples, writing notes in his old human style. Aliens watched in silence, their pride shaken, their hope fragile. By dawn, the first ray of light touched the towers, but the sickness had spread to new districts. Cries echoed through the city. Yet in the small hall, Hayes stood tall, tired but certain. He turned to the council, his voice steady. "Your plague has a face now. I have seen it, and if I can see it, I can fight it." The aliens held their breath. For the first time in many days, they felt a spark of hope. But deep within the blood of the sick, the parasite moved faster, hungrier. Waiting for the battle to begin, the news spread through Thalara like a storm. The sickness was no longer in one corner. It was everywhere. Schools closed, markets empty, and even the great council hall smelled of fear. The alien leaders whispered behind closed doors. But no answer came. Families locked themselves inside their crystal homes. But still the sickness found them. Children coughed, elders grew weak, strong warriors fell to their knees. The city that once sang with light was now silent, broken only by the sound of cries and mourning chants. The alien doctors were drowning in failure. Their shining machines beeped and flashed, but gave no cure. The parasites hid from their scans like shadows. It was as if the sickness laughed at their pride. Dr. Samuel Hayes walked among them calmly, his face unreadable, though inside his heart raced. He had seen the parasite with his own eyes. He knew it was alive. It moved like a creature. Feeding, growing, he thought to himself, if it spreads this fast, the whole species may fall in weeks. The alien priests filled the streets with chants, burning incense and calling on ancient gods. They told the people the plague was punishment for arrogance. Bow to the stars, and the sickness will pass, they said. But still the bodies kept piling. The council gathered once again, their silver eyes glowing with fear. They turned to Hayes. "Human, you speak of life inside our blood. But what is it? How does it spread, and can it be stopped?" Their voices shook not with anger, but with helplessness. Hayes stood tall, his voice low. "This is not magic. It is not a curse. It is an invader, a parasite on Earth. We too have fought such invisible enemies. They killed millions before we learned their secrets." The room went silent. Alien leaders leaned closer, his words heavy as stone. But then, a voice rose from the crowd, sharp and angry. "He lies. He wants us to depend on humans. He wants us weak." It was one of the senior alien physicians, his pride wounded. "We will not let a primitive species mock our science." The people wavered. Some nodded. Others shook their heads. Fear made them desperate, but doubt made them dangerous. The council leader raised his hand, silencing the hall, his gaze fixed on Hayes. "Show us proof." Hayes nodded slowly. He placed the alien blood slide under his microscope again. He turned to the glass, adjusting with care, then beckoned the leader forward. "Look, see for yourself." Tall alien bent down, his silver eye pressed to the lens, and in that moment his face froze. His body stiffened. He saw it, tiny shapes writhing, moving like insects inside the blood, living, feeding, multiplying. He stood back, pale, his voice hollow. "It is true. There's life in the sickness." The council chamber filled with gasps. Fear rippled like a wave. The unknown enemy was real, something alive, something no one had seen before. From that day, the people called it the crawling death, and whispers spread even faster than the sickness. They said it could leap from breath to breath, from water to skin. They said it would crawl into every home until no one was left. At night, the city became a place of shadows. Torches burned in fear, doors locked tight, and every cough in the dark made hearts tremble. Dr. Hayes sat in his small research room, scribbling notes, his candle burning low. He thought of Earth's past, of humans who once believed plagues were curses too. Until they learned the truth, he whispered to himself. Fear of the unknown kills faster than the sickness itself. But outside, in the frightened city of Thalara, fear had already begun to spread faster than the parasite, and Hayes knew that if he failed, the aliens would not just lose faith in him, they would lose faith in hope itself. The alien hospitals were filled with glowing machines. Tall silver tubes scanned every body. Lights flashed, numbers changed, but nothing made sense. The sickness kept winning. Dr. Samuel Hayes watched in silence. The alien doctors trusted their technology too much. They pressed buttons, waited for answers, but their machines only gave more confusion. Hayes shook his head. "You are looking for patterns in the wrong place," he whispered. The aliens stared at him, confused. "Then where should we look?" one asked. Hayes slowly opened his old leather bag. From it he pulled tools that looked small and plain. A human microscope, glass slides, simple flasks. The aliens laughed quietly. "These are toys. Your people are primitive." They sneered, but Hayes ignored them. He set up his little microscope on a crystal table, carefully placed a drop of blood from a new patient, and bent forward, again. He saw the parasite moving, shifting like worms in the dark. He leaned back, his voice steady. "Machines are blind when the enemy hides in the smallest places, but human eyes and patience can see what pride cannot." The council members exchanged looks, their pride burning, yet their fear deeper. They could not deny what he had shown Hayes. Asked for herbs, minerals, and simple tools. The aliens frowned. "These are ancient things. We abandoned them long ago." But they brought what he requested, for desperation had made even arrogance bend. He worked with steady hands, mixing powders with drops of alien fluids, heating them slowly over fire, not crystal flames, not plasma reactors, just fire. The aliens whispered among themselves. "This is madness. How can fire and stone save?" "Those Rus." Hours passed, sweat on Hayes's brow, but he did not stop. He tested drop after drop of medicine on the parasite. Most failed, some did nothing, but once, for a brief moment, the parasite slowed, twisted, and shrank. Hayes's eyes lit. With hope, he repeated the test, this time with careful precision. Again the parasite weakened, not killed, but slowed, a sign that it could be fought. The aliens gasped. Their machines had never shown such results. Yet this human, with his primitive methods, had found something, but the alien doctors grew restless. One shouted, "This is chance, nothing more. We cannot trust him." Another warned, "What if his cure kills us faster?" Hayes stood tall, his voice calm but sharp. "On Earth, we once fought diseases worse than this. Plagues that wiped out millions. We learned through trial, through patience, through failure. Your machines cannot replace the eyes of experience." The council leader raised his hand, silencing the room. His silver eyes glowed dim. "Let him continue. Our way has failed. Perhaps the human way is what we need." So Hayes worked deeper into the night. Testing, recording, his hand never trembling. He remembered Earth's battles. The fight against malaria, against tuberculosis, against invisible enemies. He realized this parasite behaved like something humans had seen before. History repeats itself, even across the stars. He whispered to himself. By dawn, he had new notes. A direction, a path forward, not a cure, but a weapon to sharpen. The aliens, once doubtful, now began to gather around him, watching every move. Some with hope, some with jealousy, but all unable to look away for the first time. The parasite had been touched, not destroyed, but wounded, and in that small weakness lay a new kind of strength. Hayes lifted his head, his eyes tired but fierce. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "But beginnings are how victories are born." The parasite was growing bolder. By the 4th week, the sickness had spread beyond Thalara's shining towers. Villages in the valleys were falling silent, entire homes empty. The streets lined with glowing lanterns of mourning. The council chambers echoed with panic. Alien leaders argued, their silver voices sharp. "If we do not stop this, our species will vanish," one cried. "We must abandon the city," shouted another, but deep inside, they knew there was no escape. The sickness was everywhere. Dr. Samuel Hayes listened quietly, his eyes fixed on his notes. He had found a weakness in the parasite, but not enough. It only slowed the death. It did not stop it. And time was running faster than his research. The council leader turned to him, his face heavy. "Human, you have 7 days. If no cure is found, we will end your work and seek other answers." His words were cold, but his trembling hands betrayed fear. Hayes nodded slowly. He understood. 7 days. A deadline not of science but of survival. He threw himself into the work, refusing food, refusing rest. The alien doctors watched in disbelief as he tested herbs, crushed minerals, boiled strange roots. His methods looked primitive, but each attempt carried a spark of human memory, centuries of battles with unseen enemies. Every night he whispered to himself, "Think, Samuel, think. Earth once faced the Black Death, smallpox, malaria, and humanity survived. Somewhere in their memory lies the key, but outside the research hall, the city was breaking apart. Fear had become chaos. Families stormed the hospitals, begging for answers. Soldiers guarded medicine stores with glowing weapons. Riots broke out in the lower districts, people shouting, "The gods have cursed us. No cure will come." On the 5th day, Hayes's hands trembled as he lifted a slide, his eyes bloodshot. He placed a drop of liquid on the parasite, and for the first time, he saw it twist violently, shrinking, breaking apart. His heart pounded. "It works, but only for moments," he whispered. The alien doctors gasped. The council leader leaned closer. "What is it? Have you found the cure?" Hayes shook his head, his voice hoarse. "Not yet. But I have wounded it again, and now I know which direction to take." The 6th day came, and the city burned with fear. More districts collapsed into silence. The priests declared the end of days. Soldiers whispered of fleeing to the mountains. Yet in the small hall, Hayes sat bent over his table, his candle burning low. He mixed a new formula, blending human knowledge with alien minerals, a strange union of worlds. He tested it again and again, but each time the parasite resisted, twisting, changing, as if mocking his efforts. Hayes's mind raced, the words of Earth's history echoing in him. Parasites adapt, they survive, but if they can change, then I can change faster. That night, thunder rolled across the skies of Thalara. Though no storm came, it was as if the world itself trembled. On the 7th day, the council gathered, their eyes heavy with despair. The leader spoke. "Human, your time is done. We cannot wait. Our people are falling too fast." Hayes stood slowly, his body weak from sleepless nights, but his voice steady. "Give me this last day. The parasite is close to breaking. One more step, and I can find the cure." The leader hesitated. His silver eyes locked on Hayes's tired face. Then he nodded once. "1 day, no more." Hayes returned to his desk, his mind a storm. The city outside crumbling, the cries of the sick echoing through the night. And yet, in that chaos, he felt something burning within him, not despair, but defiance. He whispered to himself, 7 days to save a world, then 7 days is all I need." The 7th day was ending. The twin suns were sinking low, their golden light spilling over the towers of Thalara like fire. But inside the research hall, only the dim flame of Dr. Hayes's lamp burned. His table was covered in glass slides, broken flasks, and notes written in hurried strokes. His eyes were bloodshot, his body weak, but his mind was sharp, searching for the one missing piece. He thought of Earth, of its dark history, how humanity had once stood at the edge of extinction many times, plagues that swept across continents, enemies so small that no one could see them, yet humanity had survived. He whispered to himself, "Malaria, yellow fever, cholera, all different, but all the same enemy, something alive that feeds." And something in human memory always found the answer. Then he remembered a story from his childhood, his grandfather's tale of the fight against malaria. How humans had used a simple bark from a tree, quinine, a cure hidden in nature itself. His eyes widened. He turned to the herbs the aliens had brought him, strange leaves glowing faintly under the lamp, roots with veins of silver, and powders that shimmered like starlight. He began testing again, mixing human memory with alien resources, a bridge between two worlds, drop by drop. He added the extracts to the parasite's blood, watching closely. At first, nothing changed. The parasite twisted as before, But then, under the lens of his old microscope, one of the tiny creatures froze, its movements slowing, then breaking apart like dust. Hayes gasped, his hand trembling. Yes, this is it. It reacts the same way. The parasite cannot resist this. The alien. Doctors rushed to his side, their tall bodies bending low, their silver eyes glowing wide. They too saw it. The parasite breaking. The first true weakness revealed. The council leader leaned closer, his voice unsteady. What have you done? What is this mixture? Hayes lifted the vial, the liquid glowing faintly. It is nothing new. It is something ancient. A cure hidden in Earth's memory, shaped with your own herbs. Your people could not see it because you forgot how to look. The aliens stood silent, their pride broken, their arrogance crushed. They realized the truth. Their shining machines, their endless data, none of it had found the answer. But a human's stubborn memory had. Hayes tested again, giving the liquid to a dying alien patient. The room held its breath. The alien's chest rose weakly, his eyes flickered. For long moments there was only silence. Then the patient gasped, his skin brightened, his breathing steadied, and his voice, weak but clear, whispered, "I can breathe again." The alien doctors stumbled back in shock. One dropped his glowing tool, another covered her face, unable to believe. Hope spread like fire through the hall. Whispers rose. The human has done it. He has found the cure. But Hayes shook his head, his voice calm. Not yet. This is only the first step. One patient, one reaction. We must see if it can be scaled. If it can reach millions. The council leader's eyes glowed with something new. Not fear, but respect. You have given us more than proof. You have given us hope. Outside, the city still mourned, still burned with fear, but in that small room, a new light had been lit. Hayes stood straight, his body weary, but his spirit fierce. This plague is not invincible, it can be broken. And I will break it, he said. And for the first time since the sickness began, the aliens believed him. The news of the first recovery spread through Thalara like lightning. From the shining towers to the lowest valleys, whispers carried faster than wind. The human doctor has healed one. For the first time since the plague began, the city felt a spark of hope. Families lit small lamps outside their doors. Children whispered prayers, and even soldiers lowered their weapons, waiting for more miracles. Dr. Samuel Hayes stood at the center of this storm of hope, his body weak, his eyes heavy, but his will unshaken. The alien council looked at him, not with doubt now, but with respect, the kind reserved for saviors. Alien scientists who once mocked him now gathered at his side, their silver eyes wide, ready to learn. Their pride was broken, but their curiosity was alive again. They watched every move he made, every herb he touched, every note he wrote. The council leader spoke with a voice that carried through the hall. From this moment, his command is our command. No longer is he guest. He is healer of Thalara. The words echoed like thunder. Hayes bowed his head slightly, his voice steady. Then listen. If we are to save millions, we must work as one. My way and your way together. Alien soldiers guarded him now, protecting his hall from angry mobs, for even with hope, fear had not disappeared. Some aliens still believed the sickness was a curse. They accused Hayes of sorcery, calling him a trickster human. Yet inside the research halls, unity grew. Alien scientists brought their glowing crystals, machines that scanned deeper than human eyes. Hayes brought his patience, his memory of Earth's plagues. Together they created a strange new science. Soon, more patients were treated, and more survived, their voices weak but grateful, their families bowing before Hayes, tears in their glowing eyes. The city began to believe the nightmare could end, but then something changed on the 9th day. Hayes examined a new patient. The parasite inside their blood looked different. It twisted faster. It resisted the mixture that once weakened it. His heart froze as he realized the truth. The parasite is changing, he whispered. It is mutating. The alien scientists gasped. One cried out, then all is lost. Even your cure cannot stop it now. The council fell into despair again. The fragile hope beginning to break, but Hayes slammed his fist on the table, his voice fierce. No, this is what parasites do. They adapt, but so do humans. If it changes, then I will change faster. He worked with renewed fire, altering the formula, mixing alien minerals with new ratios, testing again and again, failures piling, yet his determination unbroken. The city outside grew restless. Priests declared the humans' cure was a lie. Mobs shouted in the streets, demanding the council abandon him. Soldiers fought to keep order, but within the hall, Hayes stood unshaken, his voice rising above fear. This fight is not only for survival, it is for trust, trust in knowledge, trust in courage, trust in each other. The council leader looked at him with new eyes, not as a stranger, not as an outsider, but as one of their own, his voice strong. You will not stand alone. We will fight this with you. The alien scientists stepped forward, placing their hands over their hearts. Teach us, guide us, we will follow. Hayes looked around the hall, tired but burning with determination. Then let us begin again. The parasite has changed. But so have we, and we will not let it win. And in that moment, trust was born. Not from power, not from fear, but from the shared will of two worlds refusing to surrender. Yet deep in the veins of the sick, the parasite writhed and shifted. Preparing its next move, the true battle had only begun. The parasite had changed. It twisted faster, sharper, almost intelligent. Every mixture that once weakened it now failed, as if the sickness itself had learned how to fight back. The city of Thalara trembled. Riots broke out in the lower districts. Priests shouted curses in the streets, calling Hayes a deceiver. Soldiers struggled to keep order. Families wept in their crystal homes, believing hope was gone once again. But inside the research hall, Dr. Samuel Hayes did not surrender, his face pale, his hands shaking from exhaustion. Yet his eyes burned with fire. If the parasite can adapt, then so can we, he whispered. Humans have always survived by changing faster than death. Alien scientists worked at his side now, no longer doubting him. They mixed glowing minerals with human herbs, tested new flames, adjusted their machines under Hayes's guidance. Two worlds working as one. Night after night they failed, yet every failure gave them a clue. Hayes reminded them, on Earth, cures were never found in one attempt, but through 1,000 mistakes. Each mistake a step closer. On the 12th night, as the moons hung low, Hayes tried one final mixture, a union of alien crystal dust with a human-inspired formula. He placed a drop on the parasite's blood under the microscope. The room went silent. The parasite writhed violently, twisted, and then broke apart completely, dust scattering in the liquid. Hayes's heart stopped for a moment, then his lips curved into the smallest smile. It is done, he whispered. The cure is real. The aliens gasped. Some fell to their knees. The council leader placed a trembling hand on Hayes's shoulder. You have done what all of us could not. They tested it on more patients. One by one the dying began to recover, their skin brightening, their breaths steady, their voices weak but alive. Word spread through the city, and hope roared louder. Then fear. Crowds gathered outside the research hall, chanting, not curses now, but thanks, the healer, the human healer. Their voices shook the air. For the first time in history, the proud aliens bowed to a human. The council leader lowered his silver eyes and spoke. You saved us, not with weapons, not with power, but with wisdom and courage. Humanity has proven its worth among the stars. Hayes stood quietly, his tired eyes gazing at the city that had nearly fallen. He whispered, we are not so different. Your people, my people. Survival is our shared language. Production of the cure began in every district. Soldiers carried it to the valleys. Healers spread it through the towers. Within days, a plague that once threatened to erase a world began to fade. The crawling death was no more. Defeated not by machines, not by prayers, but by the stubborn hands of one human who refused to Give up. As the suns rose high over Thalara once again, the city sang, not in mourning, but in victory. The aliens would never forget the day a single human stood against the unknown and triumphed. And so the story spread across the stars, whispered in distant worlds, of the plague that confused all, until one human doctor found the cure.